Welcome to your weekly Soul Tribe Live. It's Power Coach Alicia here. I'm so excited that technology decided to work with me today. We are talking all about how to use the power of the full moon plus the lunar eclipse plus Taurus and Scorpio energy polarity to harmonize your life. Say that 10 times fast. So today is all about the full moon, the lunar eclipse, and the Taurus Scorpio polarity, and how to use it, like I said, to harmonize the different areas of your life. Like, always remember, if you're not working with the energy is working against you because you're not paying attention. So I used to do these lives, twice a month with a full and new moon. And then we, change things around. And I am so freaking excited to be back in like my moon home. I absolutely love doing the moon lives because not only do they help me, but they really help you understand like what it is that's going on around you, what's going on in that energy, what you're feeling, all of that good stuff. So that way you can make adjustments and understand instead of reacting, right? So this is all about being proactive instead of reactive. Now, if you would like to get a reminder and get first dibs on any free trainings that I do, make sure you text the word soul to the number 41372. I'm just going to double check this is working. Now, if you would like to get a reminder and get... Boom. It's working. We are ready to rock and roll. For those of you that are live here with me, definitely ask any and all questions that you have. I will be answering those live. If you are on replay, drop hashtag replay in the comments and then tag me with any questions that you have, and I will definitely respond to every single question. Here's the deal. Twice a month, like I said, we do a full moon, a new moon, like rundown, and we dive deep. We talk about what's going on, how it's going to affect you. But if you really want to take the moon energy and really harness it in your life and utilize the planets to harmonize your relationships with yourself and others, I'd love to chat with you more deeper so we can apply this to you, your life, what you've got going on, your astrological sign, and help you actually utilize that. So if you want to learn how to do that, all you need to do is type the word power in the comments. If you don't know who I am, I'm Power Coach Alicia, and I teach you how to heal your soul with my AWC process. And this process allows you to know whether or not you have the capacity and the willingness, the ability to give in the areas of your life that you're giving and committing to. And if you don't, being able to say no without feeling guilty or sabotaging yourself. So if you want to learn more about how to implement that in your own life, again, just type the word power. Today, we're talking all about how to use that power of the full moon plus the lunar eclipse and the Taurus Scorpio energy polarity to harmonize your life. So let's go ahead and jump into the full moon, and then we're going to go into the lunar eclipse, and then we're going to wrap it all together for you. This is a really powerful energy week. And like I said at the beginning of this, it's either going to be working with you or against you, right? The more knowledge you have, it can work with you. The more that you're just kind of going through the motions and not really paying attention, you could find that energy of it feeling like, oh my God, like I am fighting against this current every step of the way, right? So the full moon on May 5th. Yes, indeed. So that would be Thursday. Is it on May 5th? I think it is. Is today the 5th? Oh, no, it's not. I don't even know what the fucking day of the week we're at. Oh, it's Friday. Full moon on May 5th. Okay. It occurs when the sun is in Taurus. It forms opposite the moon of Scorpio. Now, what's really fucking crazy is that Scorpio and Taurus are literally opposite signs. Now, opposites do attract, so that can be a good thing, right? But the explosions, the disconnection, and the things that aren't alike can really cause and wreak some havoc if you're not careful, all right? So the full moon, as we always talk about, is a time to release the things that no longer serve you. It's a time of culmination and the promise of fulfillment of what started in the new moon. So in the full moon, you are releasing, right? And creating that space. And you're also letting go of whatever it was you asked for in that manifestation in the new moon and just releasing that to the universe as well. The full moon is also an emotional time because it's a time of romance, fertilization, and relationships. So around the full moon, you can either notice, and I know this is like obvious, but let me dive into it a little bit deeper. You can notice that during this time, it's like a blossoming energy in these relationships, or it is like a turbulent time in the relationships. So if it's turbulent, it's because the full moon shines the brightest, right? And it's shining a light on all of those areas that you haven't been paying attention to. Now, if you are paying attention to those areas in your life, then you might find at the full moon, it's like that closeness, that connectedness, right? So that's why there's that polarity at the full moon. So it just depends. Have you been paying attention, or is it shining a light on the areas that you haven't really been paying attention to? Now, this full moon is going to affect Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius the most significantly. And it also emphasizes the concept of form with Taurus versus the transformation of Scorpio, right? So Taurus is about form and structure, where Scorpio is about transformation and movability. So when you have that opposite polarity in energy, it can create a massive disconnection in you, especially for those of us that are Tauruses and Scorpios, okay? So while Taurus deals with the matter of personal values, material goods, possessions, and then security, Scorpio rules the destruction of form, right? Letting all that form and all of that security and structure go, right? So Scorpio is all about that deconstruction of form. And like I said, letting it flow, of the shared possessions and change and transformation. So again, that energy is going back and forth and back and forth. Now, the sun, which is your astrological signs right now, is in Taurus, okay? Right in this moment until May 21st or 22nd. It changes depending on what freaking month it is. But so the sun in Taurus actually encourages us all around the happiness, right? With simple, tangible things in life. Okay, so Taurus right now is about happiness with simple, tangible, while Scorpio draws our attention to the complexities, the intangibles, the mysteries. Okay, can you see why with this energy going on, you might be being pulled? It's like, oh my God, I don't know. Let's also mention that Mercury is retrograde right now. So this is not a time to actually make decisions. All right, allow this full moon to bring up all of the things, the information that you need, the shining that light on. Allow this full moon to give you this time and space of understanding and reflection. This is not the time to move. This is not the time to act. This is not the time to have those deep conversations of communication. It's just about time of observing these different things, these different polarities that we're talking about. Now, neglecting either side of this axis on your full moon, every month there is that polarity, right? It just is, it feels different each month at the full moon. If you neglect either side of this, it will backfire on you. So ideally, you want to harmonize between these two energies, and always the two energies that are going on at the full moon. And that's what the full moon invites you to do, to find that harmony between the two polarities and like really growing in that space as well. And the full moon also, you might find there's a lot of emotionalness going on. And that's because it's about those emotional declarations. Again, those things that are coming up, those things that have been building inside of you, likely of that intimate nature. And now it's the time when that energy, hey, Jessica, when that energy demands that you let it out. So the other thing that you might find at the full moon is that you're just like, blah. So when the full moon happens at Mercury retrograde, or while Mercury is retrograde, let me rephrase that blah that you say could really cause some issues and destruction once Mercury is direct. This is why I say, assess what's going on. And when you want to let it out, put it on the notepad on your phone. Write it out in your journal. And then when Mercury is direct, I would say on May 15th, revisit the notepads, which I have a lot of shit on my notepad right now that I want to bring to the light, right? On May 15th, review that and then decide, do you still feel that real big pull to have that conversation? All right. So that is really, really, really important for you to remember as we go forward. Now, over the coming months, you are going to discover what that declaration actually means for you, what's coming up right now in this full moon and what you really need to get out, which you should be putting, like I said, on your notepad on your phone or writing it down. Over the coming months, you're going to find out what it means for us and for you. But for now, let it out in a constructive way, which, like I said, is on a notepad. The other way that you can let it out is to talk to somebody else that this doesn't have to do with. The situation and how you're feeling doesn't have to do with. You could just say all the things that you want to say because it's not about that person. You could get it all out, but you still should be putting it on a notepad. So when you loop back around to that, you can assess it and see if you really need to have those conversations with the people who are involved in it, right? You really will feel the massive pull to express these feelings. I just highly recommend that you do not express them with the person or people that it involves, right? Now, let's see what else. The other thing that's happening right now with the full moon coming up is that there's this conflict between collecting that information and sharing that information. And I just gave you how you can reflect and look at how you can make sure you get it all out on a notepad so you can discuss that while also being able to let it out physically without causing destruction in your relationships. Again, you want to let it out with people who are a person who it is not about, right? Because they could be objective. It doesn't matter. It's not going to make them responsive to it. The only thing I will say is that if you're sharing it with somebody that it's not about, because Mercury is retrograde, you might find that they take offense to it, or there can be a misunderstanding from that conversation where you have to explain yourself and what you're meaning, and now there creates a conflict there. So you definitely want to keep that in mind. Now, these new feelings and revelations that are emotional ones, you're also going to see that there's a lot going on in your mind in and of itself, right? And so all of this stuff is like a burst of information, a burst of ideas, a burst of emotionalness. And again, in the full moon, it is the time to express yourself and let the things out of your system. But because Mercury is retrograde, put it on a fucking notepad. Have I mentioned that enough? I'm telling you, I've already been in some conversations with Mercury retrograde that I'm like, oh my God, I wish you would have just let me not have this conversation right now because this is not a conversation to have. One of the hardest things that you will find is people who aren't paying attention to planets. They don't pay attention to astrological signs and things like that. They don't have a connection to it. So they just want to operate like they always operate because they don't know any better. But you do know better, and you do understand that it can create these conflicts that aren't necessary, or you're learning, right? Here in Soul Tribe, you're learning that it can create these things. So you really need to do your best that if there is somebody really pushing to have these conversations, that you hold your responses, like full on responses and how you feel back, while still stepping forward and responding in the conversation. That's something that I've had to do, because if with certain people, I just hold all the way back and I don't respond at all, they take that as disconnection. They take that as I don't care. And now they're pissed off. So that's also going to create a conflict. So I've really had to learn how to harmonize the energy of Mercury retrograde in these conversations and communication, so that that person feels like I'm hearing them and I understand and I'm there, but I'm not really, I'm doing my best not to really add my full feelings from that until after we get through retrograde, so I can see, do I really have those feelings, right? It's so important. Okay, so that is all that you need to know about the full moon coming up on May 5th, right? A lot of emotions, emotionally charged, as Tauruses definitely are. A lot of feelings and that push and that pull of structure, right? And form and control and fixed, opposed to moldability and letting it go and transformation. So you're going to feel, like I said, that pull on the two sides. Let's step into the lunar eclipse, shall we? Actually, I think the full moon. No, I'm going with my notes here. They're both on the same fucking day, May 5th. I really thought that the full moon was the 3rd. Damn it. Maybe my notes are wrong. Let's see. Oh, my computer's been running slower than molasses. Don't worry about that. Oh, yeah, they're both on May 5th. Okay, cool. All right, so May 5th. So people who have placements in any of the fixed signs, Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, Aquarius, will feel the May 5th lunar eclipse way more than others. So this week, there's a lot of energy here. So what I want to do now is go through these signs, the Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, Aquarius, and share with you how this full moon, or how this lunar eclipse, excuse me, is going to affect. Now, we just went over the full moon and how that's going to impact everyone as a whole, but mostly these signs, plus Mercury retrograde. And now we're going to talk about how the lunar eclipse is really going to impact these 4 signs. So Taurus. Oh, this says it's April 20th to May 20th, but it's really April 21st to May something, 21st or 22nd. So you've been going through it with the eclipse series over the last couple of years. Let me tell you what, I've been feeling it. So this is for Taurus. Taurus. So chances are you're already pretty familiar with what you need to tackle emotionally right now. Unfortunately, it likely has to do with your sense of self and partnerships. After all, you're in the midst of trying to reconcile your personal brand, drive, and needs with a partner, perhaps a significant other, platonic connection, or colleague. You could find that reciprocity and compromises are more necessary than ever when it comes to moving the ball forward within your most cherished one-on-one bonds. This is happening at the highest level for me right now. So it's 100% fucking true. 100%. Not a little bit. I'm not even, I don't even have to try and see where it applies. It's 100 fucking percent true for me. Leo, July 22nd to August 22nd. The lunar eclipse falls in your 4th house of home life. Okay. So there's houses, there's planets, and then there's all the astrology that goes along with that. You've got your signs, like the element of your sign. Is it fixed? Is it earth? Is it da-da-da, right? Is it water? Blah, 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 right? Okay, so there's all these different aspects that happen along with all of this. Oh, thank you, Jessica. Like, I know a couple of Tauruses, and we're all just fucking in this shit right now. I feel it. All right, so Leo, the lunar eclipse falls in your 4th house, which is your home life. Leo, which could spur you to reflect on how far you've come with healing wounds related to your roots and family. It's a theme you have likely been exploring for a while now. Think back to October 25th, 2022, Leos, October 25th, 2022, for a sense of the themes that you're going to be dealing with once more. What was happening on that date is as best as you can, think about it. That theme is coming back for you with this lunar eclipse that you're going to have to deal with once more. An electrifying situation involving loved ones or your home could rock your sense of security. But the path back to feeling fully centered is encouraging you to open yourself up to new narrative and let go of the past even more fully. So this is going to be a really big awakening for Leos. It's going to be a huge transformation for Leos. And when you come out the other side, you're going to have a huge sense of freedom and just releasing, and lightness and brightness from releasing the heaviness. Scorpio, October 22nd to November 21st, 22nd to November 21st, 22nd. This lunar eclipse activates your 1st house of self, which could make the moment feel rather overwhelming emotionally, mentally, and even physically. But tuning in and honoring whatever's coming up for you now could be the best way to figure out where to go from here. Remember, you've been here before, as this eclipse series and narrative in your life has been in place since November 19th, 2021. Holy shit. Now, while you might not be the biggest fan of big shifts, it could very much be on the horizon now, especially when it comes to how you're expressing your needs and experiencing partnership. I have noticed this with the Scorpios in my life, that their partnerships are really shifting and they're going in deeper depth, or they're dissolving. So with this eclipse opposing revolutionary Uranus in your sign, there is significant change, especially in your relationships, and it could occur more suddenly than expected. So one thing to keep in mind, and I'm really feeling the energy from this, that sudden change is going to be negative. Well, let me rephrase. It's going to look negative on the forefront and it's going to rock you to your core. I feel that very strongly. And so it's going to feel negative. It's going to feel like the rug has been pulled out from underneath you. It's going to impact you in a great way. When you come out the other side of it, you will feel so much freer. And it definitely, you will realize that it was for the need of your journey and that shift to the next level version of you. So that's something that I got right there for Scorpio. Aquarius. January 21st-ish to February 18th, 19th. This lunar eclipse falls in your 10th house of career and public image, signaling a noteworthy shift related to your professional trajectory and how you're seeking and receiving recognition. You might decide that the track you've been on just isn't serving your big picture goals, or perhaps you're ready to step into the spotlight and go after a more ambitious project or leadership position. Even if you have your eye on the prize, a willingness to embrace a new way to make your mark can lead to emotional fulfillment. Do not, and I repeat, do not make any new decisions, sign any contracts, take any new positions, apply for anything new at this time. Wait until May 15th. Then move forward. And this is for everyone. However, it's especially for Aquarius since you're sitting in this energy of wanting to make a move, right? Wait till May 15th, 2023. You are going to be good to go. So that's what I have for you today on how to use the power of the full moon plus the lunar eclipse plus Taurus and Scorpio energy polarity to harmonize your life. I don't know why I can't say Scorpio right in the line of my sentence, but yes. Remember what I said here. Watch this session, listen to this session again. This is so powerful for you, so important for you to listen to and connect with, and utilize all the energy that we're talking about here to benefit you. Yes, it can be a struggle in the moment. You're welcome, Jessica. Excuse me, it can be a struggle in the moment, feel heavy in the moment, can feel disconnected, can feel overwhelming, can feel like fuck you and everyone, right? In the moment. However, if you just remember what I said here, you're going to come out the other side. Everything's going to be okay. And if you're really, really ready to step into harnessing and utilizing the energy of the moon and the planets to harmonize your relationship with yourself and others, I'd love to chat with you more about this. Just shout out power in the comments. Main things to remember is you've got that polarity between Taurus and Scorpio, right? And you've got all that energy going on. So you have that need for, surety, what you know, habit, structure, control, while also having this need for transformation, shift, and change. And harmonizing that is going to be so, so, so important, right? There's a lot that you're going to want to say because of the full moon and get out there because it's illuminating in these areas of your relationships and how you feel in your partnerships. Write it down. Get it all out on a piece of paper. Get it all out in your journal. Wait till May 15th and then address what is still so important to you with the people that it pertains to. Okay. In this lunar eclipse, pay attention to what I said for your different sign, right? The Taurus, the Leo, the Scorpio, the Aquarius. It's going to impact us the most. However, it doesn't have to be a negative impact, even if it feels like it is in the moment. There is this lesson, there is this growth that is coming. I can tell you, my most cherished one-on-one bonds are going through the biggest transformations right now. And it's such a challenge because Mercury is retrograde. So they're going through the biggest transformations. However, I can't communicate about it at the level that I want to, so I can be on the same page with these cherished bonds. So it's fucking kicking my ass because the conversation is what creates that depth of connection for me as a Taurus. But these conversations I know I have to wait to have, and I'm a very expressive person. And being an expressive person, I need to get it out in order to clear it out, in order to be on the same page. But I got to wait till May 15th. So using my journal and my notepad on my phone is helping immensely for that, right? These Leos, going back to that October 25th, what was happening around then? Something big is going to be happening in your family relationships right now that may rock your sense of security at one level or another. However, when you come out the other side of it, it is going to free you. It's going to be liberating, right? Remember the Scorpios, you've been dealing with the eclipse series and the energy of the eclipse since November 19th, 2021, right? And there's a huge, huge, huge shift coming for you, and it's going to happen suddenly. And like I said, I really felt that energy of at the front, it's going to feel negative. It's going to impact you to your core. But when you get through it, it's going to feel so amazing on the other side for you. You're going to know that it was needed for your journey, your growth, and the next level version of you. And Aquarius is a time to make a big change in your career, right? That trajectory of where it's going. However, wait till May 15th to take the action. Right now, do your research, reflect, sit with it, and then May 15th, let's move full steam ahead for you. All right, so with that, remember to say yes to yourself more than you say yes to other people. It's always about progress, not perfection, and always give yourself some grace, right? Give yourself some grace in your journey every single day, and we will see you guys next week. Bye.